Today I will be refuting Sabrina's argument. Her main claim was that children who were subjected to corporal punishment have a positive effect in the world. She lists her supporting claims as follows. Schools have more attentive and respectful children due to corporal punishment. Advocates of corporal punishment believe spanking is effective in teaching the child as they grow up. And those who have gone through different levels of corporal punishment have become better people. For the sake of this argument, I will stick to the reasonable assumption that the term positive effect in the world refers to doing good deeds, becoming a good lawyer, curing disease, etc. Now to draw your attention to the first secondary claim, I shall restate it. Schools have more attentive, respectful children due to corporal punishment. To me, it does not seem that by being attentive and respectful, the children are having a significant positive impact on the world. However, this claim is backed up by two individuals. James Dobson, founder of the mega-Christian organization known as Focus on the Family, who has never been a school teacher and as such does not appear qualified to make this claim. And an unnamed principal of an unnamed school in Alpine, Texas, who stated that most parents like paddling, which not only is untrue, but is irrelevant to the claim. Sabrina's second supporting claim was that advocates of corporal punishment believe spanking is effective in teaching a child as they grow up. Again, this does not seem supportive at all to her main claim. Her first piece of evidence is that Christians believe that spanking is necessary solely because it is referred to in the Bible. However, simply being mentioned in the Bible is not enough to convince someone to perform those actions. If you recall the story of Lot in Sodom and Gomorrah, he impregnated his two daughters. I'm sure that I'm safe in saying that most Christians will not take the existence of this story to mean that they must have sex with their daughters. Sabrina also mentioned that some parents feel that at a certain age, the only way to prevent a child from performing a negative behavior is to spank them, which is not a piece of supporting evidence, but simply a restatement of the claim. The third subpoint is also a restatement. Advocates of corporal punishment may argue that their children are more behaved than those children whose parents do not believe in spanking. Her third and final supporting claim is that those who have gone through different levels of corporal punishment have become better people. If we are still using my assumption that positive impact is defined as doing good deeds, becoming a good leader, curing disease, etc., then this can be considered a restatement of the main claim. Two pieces of evidence to back this up state that an anonymous man and Sabrina herself were physically punished as children and turned out to be better people because of it. However, because neither of them can know how they would have turned out had they been raised differently, their statements are invalid. Another subpoint for this claim is simply another restatement of her secondary supporting claim. The final piece of evidence Sabrina offers is that Russell Peters, a comedian, believes that corporal punishment is beneficial in school because children that were physically punished now share a common conversation topic. Besides the fact that this was a joke, children should not hit their parents just so they could tell their friends about it. I hope you can all see now that not a piece of Sabrina's argument fits together, and a lot of times doesn't even make sense in their context. Thank you.
All right, you label the main points pretty clearly. There's an excellent setup of what the supporting structure is. Your definitional point was okay, although it sounded to me like you set up something that would be a good counter criteria for you to discuss, and then you never followed through by showing us how that criteria was either met or not met. It just became an odd point for you to bring up in a couple of spots. It didn't seem to contribute much to the argument. On the first point, I thought that you did try and suggest that this is sort of a conclusionary statement, and the challenge to the evidence that you had was okay. Both of them were about source credibility, one because it's an unnamed person, the other because that person doesn't have any background in this field. You do need some evidence on that, by the way, that the advocate didn't have any or the source didn't have any background in that field. I'm inclined to believe that you're probably correct, but I don't know that, and if you'd had some information citing it, it would make it a little bit more sense. Make a little bit more sense, I'm sorry. The labeling on the second point was clear. Your challenge on a lot of these supporting points is basically that the advocate is engaging in begging the question in a few places, basically repeating the claim without offering any particular proof on it. And I thought that you did an okay job explaining it on that particular point. The transition to the third point, again, there's a kind of a reliance on the evidence being problematic. I did like the general argument that you made at the end about the humor in the situation and how this type of reasoning really wouldn't lead us into this conclusion. Just by presenting it, it seems like you were sort of mocking the argument that's being made there, and so it's understandable how you're proceeding. Again, I think that some original evidence suggesting alternative conclusions, especially things on the contributions issue that you raised as a definitional point, would have been a lot more convincing. All right, thank you.